How you going, guys? Welcome back to Fat Fords, and in this episode I'm playing around with the front of this Mustang bonnet. Basically what we've got here is we've got to basically finish off the front end of this bonnet. Originally these Mach 1 Mustang bonnets, they had a like a die-cast aluminium strip which was bolted to them, so I've welded up the holes on that, and now what I'm doing is I'm going about making up a get these magnets out of the way. Yeah, just sort of making up a cap that's going to sort of fit over it. So unfortunately my little sheet metal bender is the max it can take is 600 mil, so I've got to sort of make this up out of some short pieces. So I've got the caps made there out of those, and they've got to sort of be trimmed to length. Before they go on though, I'm going to have to sort of put a little strip there with a return on it. And what's going to happen is that oh, it's a bit hard with holding the camera. I'll put that there. So that's going to sit there like that, and you can see how it returns underneath. Well, this one's going to be welded on it, and I'll spot weld up into that, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to have a go at. And meantime, this morning I got a new toy dropped off. Got this nice old guillotine dropped off, and I really love it. It's cool. I looked around for a guillotine. I didn't sort of have a very big budget, and you know, I could have bought the the Taiwanese or the Chinese ones, but I really fancied getting an old one, something with a bit of history. And this John Hine guillotine, the guy estimates, it's made somewhere in the 50s or 60s. They've cleaned it all up, checked it all out, and it's just beautiful. It's sort of like got that art deco sort of look, eh? And I guess it was one of my dreams was to have a workshop set up with all this old school sort of gear. So yeah, this is the first part. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get some measurements done, and then we'll kick this into action. We'll chop a little bit of metal. Beautiful. That's such a bonus after having to cut metal with grinders and shears and snips and everything, and now to have a nice guillotine. It's awesome. Anyway, so I'll go over and we'll bend it in the sheet metal bender. Okay, so where we're at now is I've got this this lower piece tacked in, and just going to need to do a little bit of adjusting, do a little bit of plenishing, and then I'll put some weld through primer on, and then we'll see if the cap fits. At the moment I can already sort of see in some places this part's actually sticking out too far, so I'm going to have to sort of do a little bit of trimming. So anyway, I'll just get into that, do a little bit of grinding and then a bit of trial fitting, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so I've got the bonnet done, but guess what? It doesn't look too good over here. So anyway, I had an idea that this, may be the case, but I wasn't sure how extreme it would look. So what's happened is And maybe I should have done it the other way around. Maybe I should have done the bonnet first and then done the eyebrow molds, but the thing was, I thought if I just copy the factory eyebrow molds, you know, what can go wrong? Anyway, so this bonnet, being a non-Falcon bonnet, it's a 73 Mach 1 Mustang bonnet, even though it looks similar, it actually fits totally different. It actually sits up higher. So a Falcon bonnet would sort of, at the top of the guard, it would sort of almost go across, you know, quite flat. This one's kind of like, it sort of mounds up a little bit more. And I've taken out over 200 mil in length, so I shortened it up. And with this front piece, this cap that I've put on, I basically tried to follow the shape of the bonnet. Now, and I had to really, I mean, I couldn't really sort of like do much more, otherwise it's going to sort of come here and then it's going to duck off. So I wanted to just have like, you know, an even curve all the way to the end. So if you have a look down here at the eyebrow mold, you can see that the guard comes along and then it goes off sharply. Now, I could say that that's my bad fabrication skills, and maybe it is, but I did copy these directly off, you know, your factory mold. So all the size and shapes and everything were the same. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to get this to match that. So I'll be playing around with that a bit later and figuring out what I'm going to do. But either way, I need to change this so that it just comes down on exactly the same camber as this and flows along. So if you have a look around the front here, I kind of like the way it's going anyway, the direction it's going in. This bonnet, I don't know if it's much thicker, I haven't measured them yet, but it kind of looks like it might be a little bit thicker along there than a Falcon. So that's kind of cool. Now, again, I'm going to have to make this the same. So whether I split that and open it up, or whether I just lay another piece of metal across the top, like, you know, something like that, I'll work it out. But either way, that has to match this, and it all has to be blended in and look the same. I'm not going to like try to, you know, fill that up with body filler or anything, because that'd be like a massive chunk of body filler. So I'm not going to do. I'm going to do it with steel, get it as close as I can. I mean, the inside edge, like if you have a look along, that sort of fairly much matches, and then the front surface matches. This one here wasn't quite matching. When I was working on the bonnet, I actually found that the eyebrow mold had a slight kick in it, and I didn't realise that when I was making it, but when I did the bonnet, I could see that it sort of kicked out and then leant forward a little bit. So I had to put a little slice in that, move it maybe 2-3 mil, and I've got that into line. But other than that, yeah, a few little technicalities are going to need to be ironed out. So. And I think what I might do is I might throw the other headlight bracket in, and then maybe just sit the grille on there and just see how that looks. At least if I know that I've got the inside, you know, the inside shapes and everything right, then at least it'll look right around the grille, and everything that I need to change is just on the outside. So yeah, we'll have a look at that now. At the moment, nothing really lines up that well, but I realised that part of the reason could be because I don't have the full radiator support there, so a lot of the mounting points are not, I can't really screw into them or brace onto them. So it just seems to be a fairly big gap between the top of the grille and the bonnet. But Ryan, go ahead and just do what we did before, just kind of like gently push it up. Yeah, so I think once I build my mounts, my braces and stuff, not that much, just let it off a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't really need much. Yeah, I think I'll get it worked out. But around the edges of the grille, it doesn't look very correct. So either I made a mess of these eyebrows, or it just needs more finessing. So they normally have a brace just, where is it? There, there's a bracket kind of thing. So it's braced there, not in the middle, but one there and one on the other side. And then that sort of evens it up. It's not too bad. I mean, I suppose you can't expect it to look perfect first time around when you've been hacking and chopping and welding and all sorts. Especially if Blake's been helping you. You're really screwed.
Professional.
Anyway, so gives us a bit of a direction. I mean, the bonnet doesn't look too bad, eh? Like along the front. That front edge is pretty much right. So I've just got to fill in the corner here. So obviously got to put a little bit of steel there and blend that in. And then I'm going to have to do something about the top of the eyebrow mould. Now whether or not I need to shape the eyebrow mould further in other places, I don't know. I just don't like how it kind of like fits the end of that grill there. I'll play around with some more mounting, because I mean the bottom of the guard's not really attached to anything, so it could be that it's sagging down a little bit. I mean the problem is I've made that so rigid now that who knows. Yeah. Anyway, we'll play around a little bit more and see how we go. Okay, so what I did is I just moved the guard around a little bit and found that actually the bottom of just the back around the headlight bracket, it was just kind of caught behind the headlight bracket a little bit. So I pulled it out and it actually looks a lot better. So it's the gap is fairly consistent around the grille at the moment. I mean, it's acceptable, I guess. I know when I was fitting the grille on my GT, I had this XP GT Coupe, I sort of stressed out because I was playing around trying to get that grille even. It was actually a bit of a job getting everything sort of like lined up so it was perfectly even. So this one's not quite as even. Like if I get the top even and then I come down the side, it's got a bit of a kick in. So I'm not really happy with that. I'm going to have to play around with that. Get that, yeah. If I come back to this side and have a look, you can see that this area here, it is quite even down the side of the grille, and that's what I want. So if I make that top even like that and then look at the side, it's not. So I don't think it's the grille. No, it's not the grille. That's a new old stock grille, by the way, so it should be pretty much in the right shape. So it looks like I'm going to have to muck around with this thing. So I'm going to have to reshape that, and I'm going to have to change the contour here so it matches the bonnet. So I think I'll do that in next week's episode. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's about a wrap for this video. So I've learned one thing: if you're going to put a modified bonnet on, make your eyebrow molds after you've modified your bonnet. That way it's a bit easier to match it in. But apart from that, I mean, yeah, that looks alright. I'm fairly happy with that one. It looks like I'm just going to have to alter this one. Might be a bit hard to hear me because it's pouring with rain at the moment. But I think that all in all it's looking pretty good. Just got to do a lot of mucking around on here. Anyways, one thing we haven't done actually we might try is we haven't opened the bonnet with the grill. So I'm going to do that now. Just keep a close eye. Look, if it looks like I'm going to catch the grill, tell me.
Yeah, hold it.
Yeah.
I'll hold that up.
Okay. But we are going to be pushing that grill back in a little bit. Just start lifting the bonnet more. Slowly. Slowly lift, lift, lift. Lift. Okay. So we're probably going to have an issue with the grill. So my guess is I'm just going to have to move the grill in. I think if I move the grill in 20 mil or whatever it allows me to move it in by, it should clear, right? Just slowly start closing. Whatever it is, it's definitely not much.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Definitely not much. But, you know, for the sake of, you know, making sure that everything works smoothly, I think I'll do what I can to just try to move the grill in. Okay, alright, cool. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, like and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully you didn't think my intro was too crappy, but we'll see. If you can always leave your comments, let me know what you think. Shall I leave the intro or shall I ditch it? Alright, thanks for watching.
Least expected.
Well, you have to do it. No, but then I put it in when it's least expected. You're not editing the fucking video, I am. Like, you need to put your scene in when it's least expected. Like, I've been chopping them out because what's the fucking idiot sticking his face in front of the camera for?
I do all the time.